Joe's Boxing Promotions, proudly sponsored by Florida Construction. Hello and welcome back to Hypnosis Podcast. Today we've got another episode with none other than Callum Walton. How you feeling, mate?
I'm good, thanks. You?
Yeah, not bad.
Good.
So I like to do something on the podcast episodes, right? Is where obviously I know a little bit what you do, but for people, new viewers that don't know, I like to get to know you. So who is Callum Walton?
First and foremost, a dad and professional boxer.
And tell a bit more about that, mate. Let's go way back. Where did boxing start for you?
It was a strange one. It was very gradual. I didn't just fall into it. I always used to do it on the side of football just to keep fit. I used to take football quite seriously, played at a decent level. I just used to go, when the weather was bad, I used to go to the boxing gym just to make sure I was fit. Went to America on a scholarship, returned from there, and then I just kind of thought I'm going to give boxing a go. I enjoy it, so
yeah.
I started. I think I was 19, 20 when I had my first fight.
Yeah.
And just kind of been fully in since then, 100% in.
What you said you went to America there for a scholarship? What was that for? Was that for sport or was it for?
Yeah, no, it was to play football. You represent the university team, well, the college university over there, and they pay for your tuition fees. So
okay.
Obviously, you pay tuition fees over here.
Yeah.
They have a budget where they have different sports teams, and they'll pay a certain amount of your fees depending on your performance. So yeah. I was lucky; I got a full ride, so they paid for my my food, my tuition, and me digs as well. So yeah. I got 100% for the first year, and I came back with an injury and never ended up going back, and sort of fell into boxing from there. Really.
Yeah. So that injury did that stop you from becoming the next Lionel Messi or Ronaldo? Is that what it was?
I was decent, but I was never unbelievable. I was a bit of a late bloomer, to be honest. Like I say, if you're not in an academy by 12, 13, you're not going to make it. I was very fat at 13. I didn't start really being quite good at football till I was 17, 18. So I was a bit of a late bloomer.
Yeah.
But I played Northern League level, a decent level.
Not bad, especially if you went to America. It must have been pretty big. You know what I mean? They always do everything big over there.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of them where from being 14, 15, I had my sights set on it. I knew I wanted to do it. I had a good mentor when I was in college. I think my teacher in college was a former coach out there, so he massively helped.
Yeah.
I know companies are charging thousands of pounds to send people over, whereas he was pretty much doing all the dog work for me for free. Yeah. So it was a big help.
Fair enough. When you came back from America to the UK to obviously because of injuries, and you joined a boxing club, what age was that? What was the first time walking into a boxing gym like?
I mean, that wasn't the first time going into one. That was when I decided to take it up properly. I think I must have been about 11, 12 when I first went in.
Okay.
And the main thing that I remember is the smell.
The smell?
Yeah, the smell of hard work. That sweaty smell where gloves are 10-year-old and everyone uses the same pair of gloves. Yeah. That was distinct. I can remember that. The smell. That was a Mainsmith Boxing Club in Ferry Hill.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Was it a first, I love this, or were you because I've spoken to some people where they're I like it and I don't like it, but then some people walk in and they're yeah, this is made for me.
It was strange because I said earlier, it was sort of a gradual thing with me. Growing up, I always liked fighting as bad as that was when I was a young kid, but then when I was a teenager I had braces, so I was always quite wary of getting obviously you have to wear double gum shields and stuff for braces. Yeah. So I'd trained from being 13, but I'd never even sparred till I was 19, 20 because of braces. Yeah. So it was one of them things where I'd always wanted to do it, but I'd never had the courage until I was 19, brace free. Yeah. So it was one of them where it was very gradual with me.
Yeah. And when did you start doing it competitively?
I think I was 20-year-old. I got back from America in December. And I boxed in the May, June. I think I had my first ever fight, which was an unlicensed fight.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Crazy. Can't remember much of it. Yeah. I won, I think, 3rd round stoppage. It was just like a hurricane. No time to think, just go and fight, you know what I mean? Yeah. I probably just won it on fitness. It was just a case of, it was the 3rd round. I had a bit more in the tank than him. It was one of them.
Yeah. So... Obviously, you've boxed amateurly, haven't you?
Yeah. So I think it was 5 unlicensed fights. I think I won 4 of those. And then I went amateur with Brandon Boxing Club. I think I was amateur for about 4 seasons because of COVID knocked one on the head. Yeah. So I think I had 33 in 4 seasons. So I was nice and busy. I knew I was a late starter. I just wanted to be busy, get all the experience that I could as an amateur. I knew the ultimate goal was to turn pro, but obviously I knew I needed a lot of work before I turned pro. So I just went to Brandon, took every fight that came my way, always stayed like half fit.
Yeah.
I knew that I was on limited time sort of thing, so...
Yeah. So, obviously, you've already had your pro debut. We're going to get that on a little bit, because that's quite big for the show you're on. But you've got some exciting things here. You're an ambassador for Empire. You've turned pro. You've had a good amateur career. But let's talk about that Empire. What is Empire for people that don't know?
I mean, from I'm signed to Empire Management, which obviously they're my management company through Jamie. But they've sort of got a lot of like hands in boxing, so they've got Empire Pro Tape, Empire Fight Store, which produce like gloves, head guards, fight gear, and then there's Empire Asbestos, which is like that's kind of separate from boxing. That's where they became sort of what they are. Yeah. Well, yeah, Empire have been great for me personally. I reached out to Jamie through. I just DM'd him. I think I was kind of stuck. I wanted to turn over, and I didn't fully know like how to, where to go. Yeah. So I knew that he was a manager. I knew obviously Tommy Hodgson's quite local. I knew about Tommy. I just kind of DM'd him in, not really expecting a reply. Just kind of, I've got a query. Could you help with it? And then just one thing led to another. And we ended up meeting, had a couple of conversations, and then just signed with them. And honestly, they've been a blessing in disguise. Yeah. Well, not in disguise, a blessing, just a full blessing.
So that's all it took, just a simple DM, and that was it?
Yeah, from what I can remember, I DM'd them, and I think I was like, explaining the situation that I wanted to turn pro. I'm not 100% sure what to do, where to go. Like, locally, there's a few managers, but I don't know, like, what the different things they offer. Yeah. And he just said, we'll have a chat, and then I think we ended up meeting a couple of times. He came to the gym, seen the atmosphere in the gym, seen his training. Obviously, he knew like what I'd done as an amateur. I did quite well as an amateur, and then just went from there. Yeah,
so. And obviously with Empire having most of the boxing you see on televised, and you see a lot of world star boxers using the Empire tape, and they're a big company now, they're evolving. As a boxer and having that boxing gear, do you get free tape? Do you get gloves? Do you get equipment?
They've like sorted me out massively. They gave me sparring kits. Free gauze, tape, fight gloves. They provide every single fight. Yeah. They send me to Susie Wong every 3 fights for a new fight kit. All right. Like honestly, that would be unbelievable. Like the management wise, I don't know any other manager that's doing what they do for their boxers. I mean, I've only got 3 of us on the books at the minute. Yeah. But they're different level management wise.
Yeah. So when it comes to preparing for a fight, do they also train you? What's the crack with that?
No, so they manage me. So they obviously, I go through Jamie for the shows that I'm on, my opponents and stuff. He'll send them over, say, what do you think? We're kind of all liaised between me and my coaches and my manager as to like opponents and dates for shows and stuff, because obviously I'm still at my amateur club, so they're quite busy with the amateurs and stuff as well. Yeah. But yeah, Jamie does me cuts on fight night as well, which obviously him in your corner, like he's been in some of the biggest, like he was in Canelo's, Billy Joe Saunders, you know what I mean? Like he's been in some of the biggest events in boxing in the past couple of years. So he's just like, for my debut, he was just like the go-to, you know? Yeah. He was just a figure where, because it was my coach's first time in a pro setting as well. Yeah. So Jamie kind of led the way and settled us all down. Yeah. Steered the ship, yeah.
Good. So this, I've noticed something, right? A lot of boxers have nicknames. Yours is El Cannon. Yeah. Let's talk about that. Where does that come from? Where does El Cannon come from?
That is purely from my head coach, Brandon, Alex Oliver. Yeah. Yeah. Everyone that gets carded as an amateur boxer gets a nickname, and there's a big like list on the wall, and it's got everyone's weights, everyone's names, and everyone's nickname. And he just kind of comes off the top of his head. He'll just be in the gym training, he'll just shout like, "That's your nickname," and like. Just it kind of usually, obviously, like most nicknames alliterate with people's names or they rhyme or whatever. Yeah. And I think it originally was the Cannon, and then he just spruced it up and made it a bit exotic and put L on instead of the Cannon. Aye, so he's just it's all just Alex's crazy imagination, really. Everyone in the gym's got one. Yeah. Yeah.
It sounds pretty good. Like
it's quite catchy, isn't it? I thought as a bit of a slogan selling point.
Yeah, nice little on the back of the show.
It just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? It goes. Yeah.
So we talked about Empire boxing and like Empires and Ambassador and stuff, helping out as management team. You box for Brandon Boxing Club still. Yeah. They're obviously an amateur gym as well as doing a pro. That pro debut, mate. Let's talk about that. Yeah. Pro debut. most boxers, professional boxers, have the pro debut on like a small hall event. You had it on a televised event on the undercard for 2 WBA eliminators for Lewis Ritson versus O'Hara Davies televised. Let's talk
I mean, it was unbelievable, to be fair. Were you there at the event?
Yeah.
I mean, I was meant to be floater as well, so I could have got on when the lights went off and everyone's went home. I could have been on very first. I think a lot of it's down to my manager, Jamie. I've got to give him a big shout out because, I mean, to get me on the show in the first place.
Yeah.
And then we turned up and he said, looking at the card, we're a floater, I think we might get on at this time. And literally what he said, it came to fruition.
Yeah.
We ended up going out like prime time right before the main event. I mean, I know it wasn't absolutely packed in there, but it was, I think for my fight, it was as busy as it was ever going to be that night because it was right before Ritson. Just the perfect debut, really. Like, if I'd sit and wrote how I wanted it to go, the whole thing, weigh-in, event, start to finish, timing and getting on, how the fight went, like, I wrote it exactly like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't have wrote it any better.
Would you say it's a bit more? It was a bit more nerve-wracking because it was your first pro debut, and like you had like the weigh-in, the press conference, the actual main event televised. What would you say it was?
I wasn't nervous getting to the venue or the weigh and such. I was more nervous for, like, I did an interview with IFL and like the media outlets. I didn't do the actual press conference, but the press day I think I was most nervous for than the fight. Yeah. Like, I knew I'd done the hard work. I had plenty of notice. I think I trained for like 8 to 10 weeks for a 4-rounder, you know. Like, I wasn't nervous for the fight at all, really. It's kind of, I'd envisioned it a few times. Like, obviously, I don't know if you box, but you tend to like run scenarios through in your head. Yeah. The walkout was very similar to what I'd like imagined. So it was just like, it felt natural, you know. I felt at home up there. Yeah. So it was good. I wasn't overwhelmed by the nerves. Actually, I took it in my stride.
Were you planning in the shower the night before, like doing your little shadow boxing
no,
in the shower?
I wasn't planning that bit. No.
So obviously it's a big show in it for your pro debut, like being televised and stuff. But the whole, like, I don't know how to say it. The whole, like, before Ritson, you know what I mean?
Like the running of the show.
Yeah, the running of the show. You were, the way you came out, the way you were thingy, it was at a huge arena. I think it's the biggest venue outside St James's.
Oh yeah, will be. Yeah.
The Utility Arena. So obviously it's got to be quite. Obviously you said you didn't feel nervous, but it was, for a pro debut, that's pretty good. Other than Utility Arena, where's your dream venue later down the line?
Dream venue. It's got to be somewhere in Vegas, I think.
Vegas?
Yeah, I think so. MGM.
Yeah?
Probably, yeah. MGM or Madison Square Garden, I think. It's just, you watch like the classics and they're in one of the two, aren't they? Vegas or New York. Yeah. So I think it's got to be one of them.
If you ever go for world champion, when you go for world champion, that's where you're going to be.
Yeah.
That's where we're going to find
honest, the army that we take to Vegas would be crazy. People already, before I even had my debut, was like, I can't wait to get to Vegas. Yeah. I'm like, slow down, it might be a while away, yeah, but honestly, it would be some event going to Vegas, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But let's talk about that a bit more. But run down the whole. So let's, obviously, it was televised, so it's going to be a bit more extra than just a fight night. Run with down the whole scenario. So you obviously had the press conference, you obviously went sat on the table, but you did the media days. Run through everything for you.
Yeah. I mean, I think I was quite lucky in terms of, so the press conference was a Thursday, Friday was the public weigh-in, but I don't know if you've seen, not all the undercard fighters got the weigh-in on the Friday because they were boxing domestic opponents. Yeah. So I had an overseas opponent, so he flew in, I think, on a Thursday, Friday. So we got the weigh-in the day before, which obviously, apart from the main fighters on the card, like, not everyone got to. Yeah. So that in itself was a good experience, obviously. And then fight night on the Saturday. Obviously, I wasn't in the fighters' hotel, so it wasn't full on like the big event. Yeah. But it was a bit surreal being like backstage at the arena. Like, I've been to the arena numerous times to see like concerts and other boxing shows. Yeah. Just to even go in the back exit, I was like, where do you go? Like, it was crazy. I didn't realise the setup was like the change rooms. Were you backstage? Yeah. Like how they have all the different tiers of the change rooms. Yeah. Like, it was all a bit surreal, to be honest. Like I say, being in such an arena for my debut.
Who was next to you in the change room? What change room were you next to?
There was like an undercard change room. There was me, Nathan Forrest, Ewan McKenzie in the same one. And I know Nathan, I know them both. I know Ewan from the amateur days. Yeah. And Nathan is like fairly local to me. And then I think Jamie was doing Stevie Cairns' cuts and wraps. Yeah. So once he'd finished, Jamie said, we'll go up into his because he's got like a bit of a premium like suite.
Yeah.
So we went up there and it was mint. It had an ensuite bathroom and everything.
Yeah.
It was me, you, and Nathan cramped in this one little room, and then went up there and it had like, honest, it was massive. So that
Very
was good. It made it a bit more relaxed because we weren't cramped up anyway. So.
So are you going to throw your after party after? So he's had an after party up there. In
no, aye. There was. I come down quite quick actually. Like I just want to see everyone in the crowd. You know, there was a lot there. So I got changed and came down quickly.
Yeah. So obviously you're warming up and stuff, and you got your raps on, so getting prepared. When you came out to that walkout and you saw your face on that huge screen, big and bold, Callum Walton, El Cannon, what was your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, well, I never seen my face on the screen because the screen was behind us. But I just to see the crowd, like I say, I'd sort of ran it back in my head a few times, like envisioned it, and it was pretty much exactly how I like sort of expected it to be. So as good as it was, I wasn't like overawed by it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was some walkout, like some event, like to be on. Like I say, the crowd was class. I don't know if you noticed, but I think of all the undercard fighters, at least I think I sold the most tickets. It was absolutely bouncing. So
huge
I mean,
crowd.
on your debut, you expect to do well as well. So I understand that as well. But yeah, I mean, like say everything from the fight, the walkout, the crowd, like getting an interview after on main TV before the main event, like I couldn't know it any better. I think I watched it back about 20 times within 2 days of the fight. Yeah. I don't know the fight TV, that's for sure.
I do, you know what it is? I think the way you were on the card, I think it stacked the fights perfectly. I feel like you were the energy topper. The way you had a pro debut, but obviously you brought quite a big crowd. Like I was doing videography for it, and I looked, and all I can see is the whole few
it was
rows.
the whole right hand side, wasn't it? Like the whole block.
Right side, just for you. And there was like loads of people cheering you on, and I turned around and it says El Cannon, and I think, thought, ooh, this is gonna be good. And it's straight after that fight, you got the stoppage, didn't you? Yeah,
second round knockout. Yeah, went down as a flat KO as well. Yeah, never got up. So
you got, but that's what I'm saying. You got the KO. I looked at the side of us, the whole right side's going up, and everyone's in good spirits. And then for the rest of the night, I feel like you were the one that kicked it off. There was just good energy after that one fight. Everyone was like, "Yes, right, we're ready for the fight now." You topped that off.
I think it's infectious, isn't it? Like if I came out, I think everyone that was there on the night in the crowd knew I was local. Obviously, bringing that many fans. Yeah, it's just like I say, it's infectious. Like the 200 that I took are having a good time, so the rest of the people thought we'll have a good time as well. So obviously, unfortunately, how it went for Lewis, but up until the stoppage, it was a decent atmosphere. From when I came down, I think I came down, it was about third or fourth round in Lewis's fight. Yeah. But I never got to watch it properly because I was like trying to speak to everyone that came to watch me. Yeah. But I watched it back the next day. So
yeah. So that obviously you got the second round knockout for your first pro debut. What was it like?
It was good, to be honest. I was saying to my coaches, I think this is the next week in the gym. As good as it was, I was a bit not disappointed at all, but like I feel like your first handful of pro fights are learning fights. Yeah. And I don't feel like I learned anything because it was like first round, got behind my jab, felt him out. Second round, the second that I like clicked into the zone, I stopped him, and I didn't even try to stop him. That was the thing. Like I wasn't like, I don't know if you've seen the knockout. Like I wasn't, I didn't load it up. I wasn't like looking for it all night. I just tapped him with it a couple of times, and then the one time he held his feet, like I got the combination off. But like I wasn't in my head, or even before the fight, I wasn't thinking, right, I'm going to go in and blow him out here. Like I was just happy to get the rounds. If I get the rounds, if you can't take the shots, then I'll stop him. But I was never like loading up or like tensing up to look for the knockout. Yeah. So as good as it was, like I say, it was almost like I didn't really learn out from that fight. Like it was mint, and I loved it. Yeah. But I'm gonna have to learn in the next few as well now. Yeah.
I've got to ask though as well, because you came in your fight top today as well.
Yeah. Well, represent my sponsors.
The fight kit you wore, what's with the pink? I love the pink. Do
you know what it is? It's not really for any particular reason. Like obviously I have the bear now, and like she's a girl, so it's kind of half from that. But originally it started with the boots. I had the white and pink Nike Hyper-KOs. Okay. And I just thought I just like everything matching. I'm a bit not OCD, but I'm that way on. And I don't know if you noticed as well, the gloves were all white with a pink thumb. Yeah. So they matched the kit, the boots, everything was just matching. So I just like that. I like to be colour coordinated.
You know what it is? I wasn't expecting like you come out and you in pink, and I thought that's the first time I've ever saw like a boxer wear pink. Yeah. But it's quite good to embrace as well.
Yeah, well, my coaches obviously they have to wear these in the corner, and they were like, I don't know about that. Like they're both like 40-year-old men. They're like, I don't know if I like these.
Yeah.
Sorry, all three of them are like 40-year-old men. It's like, oh, bright pink. Like you have to put on a statement if you're making us wear this. So I thought, I'll go and make a statement.
It done the job, mate. I mean, I still remember it now. And you came out with Al Cannon in pink.
Exactly, it stands out in it. That's the main thing in this game. Obviously, a lot of people, there's a lot of boxers, and a lot of people go sort of under the radar and like fit in too easily. So
yeah.
Without being like, too controversial, you want to stand out, don't you?
Yeah. So is pink now going to be your thing, your gimmick, or is it next? What's the next colour?
No, I've got the next one lined up. It's going to be bright, but it's not pink.
Yeah.
Aye.
Keep it in the books. Keeping it secret.
Aye. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so, it's good bright again, and it's going to stand out again.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to see it. So you just talking about your sponsors there.
I've got a lot of good sponsors actually. My main sponsors, Siberian Stores, they do a lot for me. They sponsored our boxing club as amateurs as well. They sponsored the actual club before I turned pro.
Okay.
So that was kind of like a natural progression. Like I said, I turned pro and approached them, and they said, "Oh yeah, we'll love to help out." Aycliffe Physio, they've started since I became professional. They help us with a massage, with my recovery and stuff.
Yeah.
TMC also sponsored me as an amateur. He's a local man to myself, but he's got his own business in Chester. Who's doing well, so he likes to help like the local lads again.
Yeah.
And I've got a load on the back as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've got time to walk through them all, but
yeah, we'll have a look in a minute.
Yeah.
What this Siberian Stores? What is it that they do? In this
so they fit like log burners and stoves in people's houses.
Okay.
Yeah, they do some great work. They're all over my social media, so if anyone's wanting a stove, check out my social media. Yeah.
So so the past few episodes have been talking about sponsors and how they're helping. Obviously, you must have a good following with obviously Pro Debut. Was it easy for you to get them being in obviously with the amateur boxing gym, or was it hard?
What, to get that many people there?
Not just for the sponsors. How was it easy?
Yeah, like I say, some of them were sort of natural. Like Siberian Stove he sponsored Brandon Boxing Club, like as the club. Like so, he bought the show vests and his logos on the back. So the second I went pro, I thought like I'll just ask him, see if he fancies helping out. Like I say, TMC, that's Bob. He sponsored me as I think my last 3 or 4 amateur fights. So when I got to the semi-final of the elites, like he was sponsoring us then. Aycliffe Physio is one of the ones that I reached out to when I was turning professional. Also got Ferry Hill Car Shop Ferry Hill, who a lot of them when I was turning professional, I thought like I'm going to need some financial backing.
Yeah.
So a lot of them I approached as I was turning pro.
Yeah.
But like I say, 1 or 2 like Siberian Stores, TMC sort of just came over the woods from the amateurs.
Yeah. All right. So let's get on to the money now. You've got 2 fights coming up this year, mate.
Yeah.
You've got the 28th of May and the 14th of July at the Rating Arena.
Yeah.
28th of May. How are you feeling?
Good, very good. Just found out a couple of days ago that I've got a southpaw, so just been adjusting things like pads wise, sparring wise to southpaw. But yeah, I feel good. Feel probably the fittest I've been. Yeah. Been doing higher amount of rounds and stuff. So looking forward to it. Another show.
Yeah. So obviously this will be your second fight now.
Mm-hmm.
With you having the first kill, are you looking for that second kill?
No, never looking for it. Never looking for it. Like I said, the first one I didn't try to get it. It just came. I think it's just my style, and like I improve and I grow as the rounds go on. You know, like the first 1 or 2 rounds is, if you see me sparring, like 3rd and 4th, 5th, 6th, I'm probably better in the later rounds.
Yeah. So
I don't try and look for it. Just if the intensity gets higher and you kind of handle it, then it's gonna come in it. So
yeah. And what about the 14th of July? It's how are you feeling about that? Obviously, you've been on a stacked card fight, but this one for the Northeast, it's a big one. Mm-hmm. You've got like Matt McCallum versus Adam Heppel for the Northern area.
It's a great fight, that.
And you've got like people like Jeff Saunders on the bill. You've got like loads of good fighters in there. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, good. I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, Rating Arena is one of them where if it was meant to be at the stadium I like, which would have been like a massive selling point. Like my granddad's a Sunderland fan, so it would have been good to box there. But the Rating Arena is a staple in the North East scene, and it, like a lot of shows are there.
Yeah.
And as much as there's been a lot of shows there, I've never actually boxed there myself. So good to tick it off the list.
Yeah.
Like I say, the card's full of like good local talent. Everyone's that's on the card, I think I've been to watch before. So it's good to be sharing the stage with them as well. So it should be good.
Well, I think you know it is. I think you're gonna enjoy the Rating Arena.
I think I'll enjoy it. We had an amateur show there when I was on holiday, but the first time that our clubs had a show there, and they said it was good because obviously most amateur shows are in like a club or a sports hall. You don't get a full walkout, whereas obviously they have the stage and they fully kitted it out for a walkout and stuff. So
well, it's good. It's a bit more of a warm. I feel like the stadium, like it's alright, but the Rainton Arena, I don't think you could get any better than that. I mean, are you a Sunderland fan?
No, Newcastle.
Thank God for that. I was going to say that if it was in St James's, 10 times better. But Rainton Arena, I think it's perfect. You've got the boxing ring in the middle. You've got the audience around you. The walk out in
the balcony.
You've got the balcony and stuff. It's more deeper feel. It's a more of a obviously I don't box and I do the media, but also do the commentating. When I'm sitting there, and you can hear the crowd behind you because it's an arena, but it's a more deeper connection. I feel like when you walk out, what I've heard from the boxers is they walk out and they go, "Wow."
It's strange because I know it's not solely for boxing, but the way that it's like sort of the ring's always like in the middle, and it's the way that it's laid out. You think it was made for boxing or some sort of like the MMA events there as well. Yeah. Like it is like it's made for combat the way that it's laid out, isn't it? Almost.
Yeah. Are you a business that's looking to advertise your product or service digitally? Look no further. Hypnosis Media is a day-by-day growing platform with regular content such as interviews, boxing action, and our all-new Hypnosis podcast. A great way to show the world your product or service. If you are interested, DM us on Instagram or email us directly with the following email. So let's talk about Job's Boxing Promotions. This obviously we've got a new like promotions coming up. North East Boxing's at its rise. It's coming up in a peak. What's it like to box in two of their shows?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I think especially for the past couple of years, like I said, they've been a staple in the scene. Like they've been probably the main ones that have, along with Jaffa, pushed the local scene. Yeah. Obviously, you've had a few come and go over the years, but I mean, how long's Job's been going now? 3, 4, 5 years? It's been so like Job's, as a promotion.
Yeah, so as a promotion's been going for about 2 years. As a boxing gym's been going for a little bit more since 2014.
Yeah.
We've got amateurs, we've got pros coming in and out, we've got management, we've got media, we've got everything in house.
So I knew about the gym, but I didn't realise it was that short of a time promotion wise. They've made quite a big splash in the North East scene, especially in that time. So
yeah,
it's good to be on the shows.
Yeah. Now I wanna ask something. All right, you mentioned earlier about being a dad.
Yeah.
When you watch most, so you've got like Tyson Fury, and you've got like the thingy. Oh, I've got his name now. It's been off my head. The Saunders. Forgot his name.
Billy Joe Saunders.
Billy Joe, that's the one. You see, there's too many Saunders. I'm mixed up with Jeff Saunders. So you got him. Like they keep talking about they wanna leave something for the children. When you box, is that something that's in your head? It's like, okay, I'm gonna win titles. I'm gonna achieve stuff to leave for my daughter, or what's that in your head?
It's strange. Obviously, I'd boxed a long time before she was even like a thing, but then it kind of her being born coincided with us turning pro. So like, she was born between me being amateur and pro. So obviously it helps. Well, not helps, but it gives you more incentive to set more goals and like be financially a bit more savvy, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously being amateur, you're doing it for free. I was like, I'm not bothered about like, I don't do it for the money. Yeah. And I'm not doing it as a pro for the money, but it just makes you think like, get what you can while you can, you know.
Yeah.
So
what do you think she's gonna think when she turns like 16, 18, and she looks back at her dad boxing on big shows?
Yeah, I've never really thought about that. It's a good question. I just hope she's proud, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you ever watching this, your dad was sat here on this podcast in 2023 and he hopefully is now the world champion.
Hopefully.
You're going to show her this the next time in a few years ahead.
Aye, we'll run it back.
So anyways, the boxing.
Yeah.
You've got boxing. What do you do outside of boxing? What's your hobbies outside of boxing?
Hobbies. I don't have too many hobbies, to be fair. I used to be big into football. I like watching football still.
Yeah.
I haven't got that many hobbies actually now that I think about it.
Yeah.
To be honest, as sad as it sounds, I quite like even when I'm not got a fight coming up, just I enjoy training. Like go to the gym and just doing normal kind of training. So I quite like cooking as well. Like my food, I make my food. Like I'm not like a Michelin chef and out, but I like to make nice meals and that, you know. So.
Yeah. So I like the eating part. I don't like the cooking part. I like the eating part.
I don't mind either. As long as the washing up is a bit, I don't like it.
What's your favourite food though?
It's very mood dependent. Probably at the minute I'd say Italian, so I'm craving loads of carbs.
Italian.
So like any sort of pasta, I'm not craving, but you know, I'm looking forward to a nice Italian after the fight.
Well, you see, boxing's a hobby in itself, isn't it? Like, obviously, I don't know what you do for full-time work, or if if this is your full-time job.
Yeah, no, I work as well, yeah.
Yeah, so this boxing's like a hobby, isn't it? It's you come home from work and you're like, okay, what am I going to do now? I'm going to go to the gym and spend hours in the gym.
So I mean, like I look for when I'm at work, I look forward to finishing work to go to the gym
Yeah.
and train. And like I said before, I was ever professional. I did it before I was even amateur. Before I even competed, I did it on the side of football, like as a hobby, for enjoyment as well as keeping fit.
Yeah.
So it's got a. I think a lot of people get lost in like the professional they do for the money and that, but when I first started, it wasn't for nothing other than enjoying it.
Yeah.
So
obviously, we talk about boxing and that, but right, I've got 2 left feet. Honestly, I really do. I support Newcastle because I'm born and bred in Newcastle, right?
Even with choice.
Or maybe if I had a choice, it would be Newcastle. Sunderland, don't rate them. I'm sorry if there's any Sunderland fans watching. Don't rate
They
them.
did all right last night, to be fair.
Yeah,
Give it to them last night.
I'll give it them.
My granddad's a Sunderland fan, so I've got to be.
You have
I've got to
to.
be lenient.
I don't have to because
My dad's a Borough fan as well, so it's mad in my house.
my girlfriend's her family's from Borough, so they support them as well. So
Aye.
like, iffy. But Newcastle, what do you think about them, mate?
It's quality, to be fair. I mean, obviously, I'm 27, so when I started to get into football properly, you're talking like early 2000s when we were doing well, and then obviously we had like the gradual decline. But I can remember, I was talking to my girlfriend yesterday. Actually, I was saying about, I can remember when we got relegated and we got beat off Villa.
Yeah.
Went down to the Championship, and I feel like it's from when I started supporting Newcastle from being like 6, 7, 8 year old. Feels like it's finally just came full circle. Like
Yeah.
it was probably about Champions League years, and we're just obviously hopefully going back to the Champions League years. So
Yeah.
it feels like it's done a full circle. But
Yeah.
obviously the takeover and stuff. Hopefully there's great stuff on the horizon. Like I can only see good things coming. Like
Yeah. Were you at the takeover?
what do you mean at the takeover?
Like
Like
when it got announced, were you there?
No.
It
I can't remember where I was actually.
was class, you know. Me and my dad went down, right, and it was late at night, so everything had been taken over during the day. We went down at night, and still at about 10 o'clock, everyone was still raving. Outside St James, there's a huge crowd. There's guys with like flares, the news presenters, everyone was jumping in front of the cameras. It was electric.
Class.
Do you think that the takeovers benefited Newcastle as a city?
I think it'll benefit the North East. Never mind Newcastle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to a fella at work, and he's a Sunderland fan, and he said like, as from a Sunderland fan's point of view, as shit as it is, it can only benefit the North East like economically and like infrastructure wise. There's only going to be more. Do you know what I mean? Like the more that comes to Newcastle, it's going to gradually like sort of.
Well, they've just
filter down.
bought. So you've obviously beaten St James's, haven't you? In front, they've got the metro station.
Yeah.
Then they've got that little plot of land. They've just bought that on Strawberry Lane. I would love to know what they're going to do with it. Obviously, you said there it's like financially for the city, it's going to be good. They've obviously they must have thought about like buying some properties in the northeast and doing them out.
Well, you'd have thought so, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, are you seeing the plans for the new stadium that they're thinking about?
I've heard
the conspiracies.
I don't think I've actually seen like a drop of it, but I've heard what people's been saying. So
apparently it's supposed to be a huge stadium. Like I think it's the Etihad Stadium. I think it's supposed to be like that, but bigger. It's supposed to have 9 pitches around it for training grounds.
I've
supposed to
heard
have
that,
a little bit further down. It's supposed to be another stadium, but for the women's. What
like a complex one, not a stadium.
What of our Newcastle? What of our football team is doing it like that?
Literally, I think that the Man City training ground's the only one that sounds remotely similar.
Yeah.
Or Barcelona as well. I've been to Barcelona's ground.
I've been to Barcelona, but haven't been to the grounds.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. Like,
yeah,
they got like the La Masa, like the youth academy, like outside of it.
Yeah,
it's unreal. It's the same. It's got like 10 pitches next to the stadium, and that's class.
Imagine if we could do that though, having 2 stadiums and making it a massive
unreal.
complex.
Like I say, it'll benefit Newcastle, but I think the wider North East, like where I'm from, Durham, I think that'll benefit as well.
Yeah.
Like, because a lot of Newcastle fans, obviously, where I'm from. So just financially, like, you're talking, the infrastructure's got to improve. If the stadium's going to double in size or add an extra 30,000, you've got to accommodate people getting there, and I think it's only going to filter down into, like, different parts of the North East. I think the North East as a whole benefit, not just Newcastle City.
Yeah. Imagine plonking like a boxing ring in there, though.
Exactly.
Imagine boxing in there.
I imagine.
Scrap
crazy.
Vegas, mate. Scrap Vegas.
Newcastle will be the new Vegas by then.
St James's. So, we're coming to the other end now. It's been a brilliant chat, by the way.
Yeah.
Really loved the story.
Thanks for having us.
I've got 2 questions, right? So I've written these down because I've been asking on the podcast at the end. I always ask. They're not deep, but they're just like, it gives you a bit of a finger. So I'm gonna ask you the 2 questions.
Yeah.
So one of them is one thing you believe in strongly.
Believe in. working hard, really.
Working hard.
Like, yeah. Not really a religious person, but I just think you kind of get away from hard work.
Yeah. Do you know what mine is? And I think a lot of people, or me, I hope they could agree with, is that if you want to achieve something, I like to think of this. You can either think a whole day about thinking about it, or I would love to do it. You're dreaming about it for a whole day, or you can either spend a whole day trying to do it.
That's it.
Go and achieve it.
Yeah.
Just like all the boxers we've had in the podcast, you're going out to achieve stuff. So if people can take it back and they can go, okay, instead of dreaming for a day, I'm going to go out and try it.
Yeah.
That's something I believe in strongly.
I agree, yeah, definitely. Like, I think if you asked, like, most of the people that you've had on, I think they'll probably say hard work's got them where they are, or got them to where they towards where they want to be.
Yeah.
So
it's obviously, this is the second one, but this is obviously you're quite like early in your boxing career, so you still got time to go, you still got time to improve. What's the key to success for you? What do you think it is?
Success. Ooh. I mean, not to be cliche, but obviously you got to be dedicated. Like, dedication is one of the main ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's like coming up with little excuses to miss training and events that you're going, like social events, that you just got to be dedicated. You got to get the work done, and having a good team around you, definitely, like people like you trust in your corner.
Yeah.
Like listening to what the advice that people give you, because a lot of kids, a lot of people in general, they go boxing, they think that they know it all, and like your corner's there for a reason, aren't they? Like, they've got a different perspective on the fight, and they've got a different perspective on the sparring and the training. Like, just listen to what people who have your best interest at heart are saying to you.
Yeah, you know what I found quite funny. I was watching a boxing show not long ago, and I was just watching it online, and there was like, you obviously heard the expression armchair boxers.
Yeah.
There was some guy, right, that was boxing. It was his pro debut, and he's boxing unbelievable. And there was this guy in the comments saying like, oh, if I had been 5 years younger and 100 pounds lighter, I would have chinned him. And I went on the guy's profile, and the guy's profile was just gaming at his desk. I think he's still living with his mum.
Two massive ifs. Yeah. If I was 5 years younger, 100 pounds lighter.
But it's just like, it makes no sense. It's like the guy was going out and he was doing it, but you've got these guys sitting in the comments going, okay, yeah, like, I could do better than that. But like,
I think it's one of them where, like, I don't know about like a lot of other people, but you sign up for, like, do you know what I mean? You see what boxers get, like the more well known boxers, you see the stick that they get, like,
yeah,
you can't let it get to you, like, you know, it's if you get to a certain point, you know it's coming, whether it's boxing, football, music, like anyone gets sort of stick from someone, don't they? So
it's like that quote, and people say, keep your friends close but your enemies closer.
Yeah. So if you have no one that's giving you a stick, you're probably doing something wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you're doing right, that's when you'll get the stick. So
yeah. Well, it's been an absolutely wonderful chat, mate.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. So yeah, you're out on the 28th of May.
28th and 14th of July.
Yeah. Anything else planned after that?
No immediate plans after that. I think obviously that'll be hopefully 3-0 in 5 months. So I might have maybe a week or two out of the gym. Maybe just look to get on later in the year, because I know it's a lot. Obviously, people come to support us. The tickets can be quite expensive.
Yeah.
It's hard to get the balance between being busy, but then asking people for 40, 50, 60 pound every month or two.
Yeah.
So I might just have a little bit of a couple of months out, just let people.
Yeah.
It's a need to save back up for tickets, you know, get a bit of interest going again.
Yeah. Where can people find you on social media though, if they want to continue?
Callum Walton on Facebook, Callum_Walton on Instagram. I'm not quite sure of my Twitter handle. I think it might be Callum Walton 5 on Twitter.
Yeah. It's confusing when you got all these social media names.
I'm not massive on Twitter, but try to keep stuff on there.
The only thing what I've done about Twitter is I messaged Liam Gallagher the other day. I put a tweet on saying, Liam Gallagher, sort it out, mate. Hurry up and get back together with Oasis. So I don't know if you've seen it yet. But probably not. But anyways, thank you so much for listening to this episode and watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell to be notified every time we upload. Make sure you go check out Callum's link in the description for his social medias, as well as Joe's Boxing Promotions. I'll see you guys in the next one.